Hello everybody, the Lord Root here, and welcome back to another episode of Light for Survival. So I've decided that despite all of the work we put into our comm network, I'm going to do a manned mission on Minmus. And that is because we need to get a fair amount of science in order to do the space station project. We've also got a number of outstanding contracts we're going to be working on as well, so I'm just going to really quickly build this guy up. I've begun building a bit of it, and we can in fact do a small pad test here. If we go to the Minmus Explorer Mark 1, then we can go ahead and begin testing this guy. Now this is slightly larger than 2 meters, unfortunately, and we will actually want, come to think of it, some 2-meter science. But we'll get Jub out, we'll make sure that everything works about as well as we figured it would. We have a low center of gravity to make landing a little bit easier. But Jub will be here. We'll just observe the materials bay here, because I guess we really haven't done that, have we? Make sure that this guy can support its own weight. We're not going to get much in the way out of science here, unfortunately, but we can get a temperature reading, and that would be nice. So we will maybe get a little bit of science out of it. We need about 390 for what I want to do at the space station. We've already got our crew report, so I am just going to step on out of here and recover that vessel. We won't get much science for it, but it's something to work with. Jub he's spent more than 20 days in missions. And somehow that means he was flying at Mach 3. Well, we recovered that, fortunately, but we have some other things here. If we go to our active things here, probably the easiest to do would be to test this LFB KR 1x2. That yields us 48 science, which would be enough to get the fairings we need. So we'll do that real quick. We'll just come here. This will be sort of throwaway science for us, or a throwaway capsule that we can just pull back up. But in order to really do this, actually I wonder, these launch clamps are supposed to behave as comm links, and we can recover them as long as we don't fire the engines, or we don't release them, because then they will be part of our vessel. So let's try that. We'll just we'll have ourselves a very brief pad launch. I believe we are now able, yeah, we got the science for that, it looks like 48. So that makes that fairly easy. We can get a lot more, in fact, if we do a bunch of things here. One of the things I'm going to do really quickly, though, is get these expanded fairings up to 2 meters. And I actually figured out how to do this with the fairing base. So what we can do is we can take, and I'll just show you an example here as we get ready to do this next test. We can take the fairing base, and we can, if I can find it at least, I think it's under aerodynamic, but we can right click on it and give it some radius, but we can also increase that to 2 meters. In fact, we can have up to a 3 meter deal. I think that that's largely for stretchy tanks, which I don't have installed. But let's get on to this guy here. So our next goal is to basically get this dude up into the appropriate altitude with one of these guys here. We really don't need any batteries or anything like that, but we will need a whip antenna. And we will also probably want one of these guys here. Now, I'm going to limit its thrust down until we get slightly under that's too little. About 1 point. Yeah, about like that. And then I'm going to put parachutes on this guy. Now that is a little bit expensive, but on the flip side, there's really no reason not to do it. We'll just keep not Jeb, but KER attached. Okay, so here we are performing the ion engine test. I gotten things a little bit messed up here by putting on 4 parachutes. I had 2 in the original design that I had tested, so we didn't get up to our apoapsis. I was thinking, okay, maybe if I take off some of these parachutes it'll work. But then as it turns out, far got in the way of things, and this time we don't recover it. But finally, third time was a charm, and we do get up to altitude here. What's interesting about this is that you need to be both at a specified altitude and at a specified speed. So now here I am more or less landing. 100 is probably a little bit too much. We'll fire them up about now. There we go. Now it's not going to be enough science for us to spend on what we want to spend it on just quite yet. I mean, we still need 150. But that's what Minmus will be for. And we can actually go ahead and get Minmus going right now. Because Jub is itching to be the first to do something again. Let's just take this Minmus Explorer here. And because we know that because we have a fairly good idea that this works, let's put in a transfer stage of some kind. So where is that adapter there? The other thing for us to do here, I'm going to strut this up real quick, but you know, in the interim, that's gonna be interesting. In the interim, we need a transfer stage, and I believe that transfer stage is going to be quite easy to do. All we have to really have here is one of these guys and one of these guys, and that should give us enough delta V to get out to Minmus. Now, if we put this on a regular rocket, this thing would definitely be way too big. I mean, just to give you an idea of how big it's going to be. Oh, where is that thing? Oh, the fairings. There we go. These are our fairings right now. That is going to be very difficult with VAR to get going. I mean, it's not going to be the easiest thing to do, so what I've decided to do instead is to make a 2-meter rocket, and this is actually still quite big. I mean, I think this is even bigger than the 3-meter base. This is like 3.75 meters. Well, there we go. I'm trying to find the thing to detach the fairings with. This may need some strutting inside too, come to think of it, or else it may in fact wobble. There we go. My struts are looking really twisty today. However, what we've got now are these larger tanks. And not only that, but we have these main cell engines as well. Because, well, it's not really the case that most of the mass is up there, though. Let's just take a look and see how much delta. Oh yeah, that's more than enough delta V. In fact, that is probably a little bit too much delta V, to tell you the truth. We're going to be wasting a bit, but I can't really think of any way besides that. So if we just take a look at our center of lift real quick. Our center of lift still needs to come down just a little bit. that's a little bit better. We will probably need these guys here. Now, we could do with a smaller thing, to tell you the truth. I mean, it's not going to be all that big of an issue. But, I mean, it's... with as awkward of a rocket as this is, I mean, we do want to collect a ton of science. And this will let us get into science collecting mode here. This being a completely untested rocket, I'm not sure how well it'll work, and in fact, I believe we will want to check our staging, because it could go wrong. I believe... okay, that needs to be on its own separate stage. And additionally, we want to check action groups as well, because we want an action group for this antenna now that it doesn't come out automatically. I believe that's the... well, I guess we could have one for this guy here, for logging the temperature. What I'm hoping for on this, I believe it may be a lot, is I'm hoping for, okay, let's just get that set real quick. 116 is a little bit low, let's do 120 or thereabout. I'm hoping for maybe about 300 science, which will mean that if we're careful, we not only can get our, the stuff for our space station, which in many instances is the trick, but we will also get... are we stable? Awesome. You know, we'll also get some other things as well. Maybe landing gear for planes, because we need to start thinking about how we can make this reusable. And I'll be a trick, really. These guys are a little bit easier to fly, because so much in the way of Okay. Let's get some control authority back. Yeah, this is more than enough, even after that accident that we had. I'm gonna get up into a good 300-kilometer orbit. And as much as I'd like to use that, the unfortunate fact of the matter is that this is going to cause us some control issues. So, with about 500 meters per second of delta V left that we don't really need, I'm just going to jettison that. That should have a graceful re-entry into the atmosphere. And we have another 13 minutes or so to go here, so I'm just going to circularize. It doesn't even have to really be circular, to tell you the truth. I mean, we're already high enough. And we've got more than enough delta V to get us to Minmus and back. In fact, we could stay out here for quite some time. I'm not going to bore you with that notion of staying out here, because it is rather, you know, boring to stay outside. But let's see, 177, 204, 205, good enough for me. Now, one of the cool things is we can still use, or maybe we can't. Maybe we need, yeah, maybe we need this out to use it. Used to be we could use, I guess you have to have a probe core on it to use it in that way. I'm just going to delete John's, or I think he's spamming us with all sorts of messages about being ill. In fact, what can I do here? We'll set that as a target real quick. Is there anything I can do to... I don't know where my descending node is at. I'll try to lower my apsis, really. Oh yeah, it's actually working quite well. That'll be plenty. Where's our new periapsis at? Our new periapsis is off a little bit because I was being a bit ridiculous there. But we'll get into orbit and we will... Okay, what is up with my deals here? I mean, we've still got plenty of time. We've got 32 days that we can hang out, as per usual. Have I gotten temperature here before? I don't believe I have. I believe I just pulled in my antenna, though. Yeah, I've gotten temperature here. We still got another 8 minutes or so. We'll activate the sky. We'll be too high to get temperature in, you know, in high space. But my plan is to visit one biome and grab ourselves some science. We'll be about 200 or 300, I think, because I'm going to do, I'm going to put in another relay sat while we're waiting. Or actually, I'm going to put in... Well, I didn't copy that over, though. However, there is a test we can do with the engine on the way in that'll save us some time. And so we won't really have to worry about putting in the relay sat just yet. See, Jub is actually really happy right now, because, you know, everybody kept on leaving him behind because he was dead. And for those of you who have watched Red Dwarf, you should probably know that being dead isn't the handicap that it used to be. Okay, that's good enough for me. Let us find Minmus now. Where are you, Minmus? It is incidentally possible for us to, if we do the math, we might be able to put up to 6 relay sats out here. That would be a good thing for us, because we'd be able to begin sending probes in around the moon. And that would in fact be a good for other reasons as well. Okay, so we need to come up here to our descending node real quick and make this correction. 0.2, 0.1. 0.1 may have to do. We got 215 meters per second. About, I can't really read that. Is that 26 seconds? I'm not sure of Minmus's exact inclination. I think it's like 5.9 or so degrees. Let's see, what is our... There we go. Now we have the inclination. Why don't we begin burning out there? Oh, okay, yeah, that's... We don't want to go that far. How low is that? Can we bring that any lower? I mean, that will give us a free return trajectory, and that is going to be fairly easy to get back from. That node is in 9 minutes, so I'm just going to get ready to make that burn. This is good because in addition to the science we're already getting, which is going to be plentiful enough, so I believe there's like a 7 times multiplier around Minmus. I'm not exactly sure about that. Okay, we need to be burning. Let's see. That is 100 seconds, so about 50 seconds or so. I mean, we can use this for the rest of the stage for orbital insertion. But our TMI, I guess because there's the moon in Minmus, a TMII, maybe? The translunar injection. You know, we can use that to get ourselves inserted into orbit and maybe even lower, like perform our descent. So at least Jebediah, you know, he's gotten off the ground. If I do kill Johnson, I will subtract the reputation from it, which I I'm not entirely sure what that reputation is, but oh, we almost had an encounter with the moon. In fact, we will have an encounter with the moon if we do that, which would be really cool. But I think we have to get under 20, if I'm not mistaken. 10 will be okay. We have 209 meters per second here. So, off we go. Oh wow, we're participating in quite a complex mesh network. Incidentally, there's, something really cool that could happen with, let's see. There we go. We get focus back. With command pods, and that's basically that if you have a manned command pod somewhere, you can get another command station. I'm not entirely sure how that works, but I do know electric charge is running out. Okay, let's... There we go. We've got about 4 days or so. To deal with on this. Now we will, if we're not careful, get a gravity assist from Minmus and turn Jeb into an interplanetary explorer, which will invariably kill him. I mean, he would finally be able to set that record that he wanted to. He has, to be fair, set a record already. Because this is the furthest anybody's been. But then he would die as a result. It'd be kind of like if Neil Armstrong got trapped on the moon. And we're almost there. It'll be another 7 minutes here. There we go. Let's set up an apoapsis, or not an apoapsis, but a deal. This will be slightly more than we really want, so I'm going to do something rather risky here instead. I'm going to, it's really not all that risky, but I'm just going to jettison this stage here. How inclined are we? We are actually really quite inclined. Let's send some science back. What do you mean no comms devices? There's one right there. Well, I guess we'll be hanging on to that crew report. It's all or nothing, y'all. Oh, we got 40 science here already. Plus 100 science, so let's see. If we get Jub out... Oh no, don't EVA. Yeah, we want to EVA, not IVA. Grab ourselves an EVA report worth 32. Minmus is much better in this regard. We'll probably get that out on landing when a Jub is time to collect his thoughts, although I guess we should take our data and store our experiments. Okay, now we'll... Oh, okay. No, that's not quite what I wanted. Actually, maybe it is. It's... Let's focus this guy real quick. And we'll pick our... We'll get ourselves into orbit, because we have to be in orbit in order to satisfy one of the requirements. So we'll do that. And I'm not quite sure where I'll land. The flats does seem appealing, but what I do know I'm going to do is I'm going to check for... See, that's in how many days? That's in 53 minutes. We will return briefly in order to see if there are any new contracts that entail landing on the moon. Or on Minmus, rather. No, that does not appear to be the case. Maybe when we get back. You know, the fact of the matter is, why did I go to the VAB? It's not really worth doing. We have this thing, or we did it must have been in testing that we had the another contract to plant a flag on the moon. We'll just go back and fly this. How much Delta V is that? 213. It doesn't take much for Minmus, so I'm just going to get in as close as we can. In fact, okay, what? Okay, there we go. Something had happened with the stage, and I guess they do that now so that if you have a if you have a space station or whatever and you accidentally hit space, you don't, or you know what it was, I bet it was probably that we let that rocket go. We need to pull up our resources here, make sure we're still good on electricity, which is going to be the hardest thing for us to do here. I'm gonna burn at 52. So let's get right on here. We are now eclipsed, it looks like. That is a little bit low for my tastes. Let's do some science, though. We're in a prime location for science, it would seem. We'll get another crew report. Try to... Oh yeah, I know why we have no active comms device. We have nothing that can reach out here. Let's see. I bet you, though, we can... Well, where's our new periapsis? If we could just... get this guy in a little bit more. I mean, as you may recall from some of my other series, Minmus is really easy to do science on. The moon, not so much, but Minmus, yeah. Yeah, Minmus is good for that. We'll get this data here. And that's right next to us, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in the capsule. One of the things that I didn't know for the longest time, that is very helpful to know, oh wait, we forgot to do an EVA report, didn't we? Okay, we're on the slopes. That's a hard biome to get. In fact, we're probably over the highlands now. Yeah, I mean, we will be bringing home a ton of science. Okay, I'm gonna That may be a little bit low. Okay, we're over the slopes again. Where we want to be, ideally, is maybe over the Great Flats. Or flats of some kind. Lowlands. Let's see. More slopes. Oh wait, yeah, we never got back in, did we? Where are we now? We will have to remain in orbit a little bit because Midlands. That's a new one. Well, actually, maybe not that long. I've more or less decided that I'm going to make this area here my landing area. And we will rotate a little bit. But we just get one crew report. That crew report is going to be all we get. I'm just, while I'm here, more lowlands. While I'm here, I think it's a good idea for me to get as much science as I can. We will want to do various things. Like, eventually I want to set up a space station out here. That'll be more Midlands here. Of course, it is really difficult to see against Minmus. I had always kind of hoped that they would fix the whole issue with the texts. Well, I'm fairly certain that they won't. That will do. I believe this mesa may count as a separate biome. The slopes. So I believe this is one of the highest points on Minmus. Okay, we'll do that EVA report here. Midlands. Okay. Well, there's really no sense in going on with this. We'll just bring out our landing gear. and Jeb will, um, Jeb will do his thing. But we will begin descent now. I believe these are the lesser flats. And now it is time for us to burn up here. And this actually is not a bad place to go because we will have to collect some data from the slopes when we return anyhow. So we'll just come up here and grab whatever we can. If we look at our altimeter here, we're still fairly high up. I'm not going to start our descent in earnest until in a little bit. And because, I forgot these guys are zero, so I have a pretty good idea of what the terrain height is. Do that real quick. You can see we've actually got plenty of fuel left. And Jeb's of course going to get to show off his skill as a pilot. Let's see, so we've got a full complement here. This is 125 science plus that 40 science, so this is definitely, just from these guys alone, cool, lesser flats. So did not look at the lesser flats data. Just from, this alone, I'm thinking we will get... Oh yeah, I guess I do need to EVA report this. See, and take that data. In fact, I'm going to grab all of this real quick. But why don't we just get to the flag real quick? We have an EVA report here. Yeah. We do have an EVA report. We'll plant ourselves a flag. And we'll say the guess who's back in the lesser flats. Jeb strikes again. And I guess we do need to take the surface sample. And now there's the task of taking all this precious science back with us, because when we return to Kerbal, remove data. When we return to Kerbal, we're not taking this thing back in with us. There's just no point to it. Okay, why can't I collect that? I mean, we're just going to use this as a service module until we're able to get back. Okay, why can't it already take the data there? Let's see, let's take that data just in case. It'll probably tell me it's a duplicate, but yeah. Okay, so let's just hit that biome over there real quick, because it's close by. Although, I guess really... Yeah, let's leave that for another time. Let's go. Because while I'm confident that my Delta V budget may be where it needs to be, I don't really want to push my luck on that. Did we... Yeah, we gotta explore Minmus. And this will bring up our budget as well, which is going to be important. I mean, we have to convince these guys that... Oh, okay. Let's do orbit first. We may have been able to do this a little bit more easily. But I will need as much as I can in terms of fuel to get this guy back home, because we don't have the science data yet, because I can't transmit it. And I'm worried that this will take all that we got. Okay. That's fine. Let's zoom out and see if we can get an escape back to Kerbal. And in addition to an escape back to Kerbal, let's see if we can get one that will bring us in rather than out, which that one appears to be the case. That's a 64-second burn. Let's see, if I do that, then that'll... I think maybe that's about the best I'm going to be able to do. Although, you know, you never can really tell. I mean, our inclination may... Oh no, we got an Oh no, we got a moon periapsis. Maybe Job will get to visit the moon after all. Let's utilize the moon as a gravitational slingshot of some kind. Get our gravity assist out. I mean, why not? That's in 8 days. And what does tax say we have? I mean, tax should... We have 26 days. I believe that is an excellent idea. And I do rather like it. We just have to make sure we don't crash into any terrain. So I believe we're at Apoapsis now. very slightly missed that burn. What is that periapsis? Oh, that is going to give us a... Okay, yeah, that'll do. That'll do nicely. And I believe we're soaking up the sun now. Like that song about that woman who's going to soak up the sun. So here's a question. Can we modify our orbit such that it will lower our periapsis? Because if we can get an encounter that lowers our apsis substantially, and that gives us a Kerbal crossing orbit, that would be preferable. And in fact, this wouldn't be a bad deal either, because from the moon we can do a lot of really cool things. So there's about a day left or so. It's about 14 meters per second. And that is well worth it in my humble opinion. Let's just kill this guy. Apoapsis is what? In fact, if we can lower this anymore. Yeah, we've reached the limits of what we can do. Let's just get that as low as we can, which I believe is there, and let's see maybe if there's a, it's going to be in 3 days, this is going to be in 4. I believe what we do here is now we don't, that's done something weird to our orbit. That's put us in a, that's captured us around the moon. Which I'm sure Jeb would like. I think maybe what we ought to better do instead we'll wait until we... Whoa. Okay. Now we have sufficient cause to worry. This is 14 days away. Is there anything at all we can do to change this orbit? Okay, that's still 21 days away. It's not quite what I had in mind. That is going to be straddling the line, I think. We have another Mooner encounter, and this one is not going to be so nice to us. Okay, the best we can do is 5 days there, which will mean it's not quite what I had in mind. What are we crossing over? We get there in 12 days. "12 days and 3 hours to be precise. There's not a lot of wiggle room for Job here. In fact, Job is going to be coming in to a very, very high energy situation that he may not recover from. It's going to use almost all of our Delta V to do it. I mean, considering the circumstances, we don't have much of a choice now, do we? So let's see if we can do this, because that's the... You know, I had intended on maybe doing this a little bit easier, but then I overdid the time warp. So Job is really setting records here. I mean, he's gone further anybody actually has. And while we'd like to recover old job, the situation may not permit it. Okay. This should slow him down for sure. We're reaching that in 6 days, so if we bounce out of the atmosphere, which is possible, we'll still at least have, food. And such. Really, oxygen is the big one. They can live without... In reality, I mean, they can live without a lot. I'm just going to set a 5-minute deal on periapsis so that we don't accidentally screw up. And now we begin the plunge into madness. Okay, yeah. Keep on going. We're a day away from this still. How fast are we going? We're going entirely too fast, and there better not be a kick from the moon here. I'm hoping we're going fast enough to pass by it. But that reminds me now. We're getting close by. We're picking up speed. Like an insane sort of dude. We are actually... We've got one more test we can do that we will at least get some science from. If we can get down to apsis soon enough, at least. We should be ready for re-entry at any moment, though. And I think anything under this... I mean, at the speeds we're going, we should be hitting apsis pretty soon. But I was just going to run this test, while we're waiting for Jeb's thing, his imminent doom to occur. Why not, run an engine test? That's a sensible thing to do, right? We'll get down to about 100 or so. And that will be okay. Excellent. That means this is now a time for us to be careful, especially since we're coming in as fast as we are. So that's 8, 7, 6. Or better get lined up with retrograde. Oh, you know what? We're about to hit our thing here. Let's run that test when this thing comes up. I mean, I guess it could be worse, so... although I don't think I've come in this deep from deadly re-entry. This is a fairly deep return. Why won't you run that test? Oh, it's too late. Oh, we had to be in orbit, I believe. Which we are not. Okay, well... let's do what we can to, well, okay, no, that's the wrong way. That is the absolute wrong way. I'm not turning on time acceleration because just look at how fast we're coming in. This is entirely too fast. Ablative shield is holding up for now. Though probably not for long. We are losing a significant amount of velocity though, which is what we want. In case we have to cross, in case we skip out again, we will have enough time to get back in. The ablative shield, oddly enough, seems to be just fine. And I don't know if that means that my ablative shield... Oh, I guess that was the... Well, I hope that was not the parachute. I mean, the parachute is at least still good. our parachute goes, then we're going to be in dire straits. I wonder how close to KSC are we? I imagine we're on the opposite side of the planet. Yeah. I mean, we're probably close enough to where we might be able to get science from it, but look at that, we did in fact descend. I was a little bit worried that we would have a little bit too much energy. So, Jeb, you're a lucky son of a bitch. That could have gone very badly for you. And I guess in the interim, what I'll do is I do have another thing I'll run that test on. I'm not going to run it immediately, probably not until next episode, but we will return home with this delicious science, and I will get our next big project going. And then we will need to begin thinking about what happens when we return. So we went through about half of our ablative shield. And that is, it's actually quite nice. I don't know what I was so worried about, to be honest. However, I do need to pay attention because, see, time to impact will be something to worry about. 31 seconds. I need to be prepared to slow down. But I'm not going to do it immediately. And Jeb, despite being in mortal danger, seems not to care. He's like, man, I got a day left. It was almost my last day alive, but I have it. I'm gonna pop the chutes relatively soon. Maybe about 2,500. We have plenty of minor propellant. I'm just going to. I'm gonna do this Soyuz style. Even though they wait until really close to the landing to do it. Is when the braking rockets don't fire, that can be an issue. Fortunately for Job, we've already gotten the water science, so he's not going to have to get out. He can just sit in his capsule. There we go. Let's see how much we recovered from that. We now have over 1,000 science. which I'm quite thrilled about, to be honest. He's got multiple missions for 5 or more missions. Mission time. He spent 80 carbon days in missions. That's kind of weird. I don't know the truth of that. He splashed down, hit Mach 10 coming in. First flag on Minmus. First surface EVA on Minmus. First orbital EVA. First Minmus orbit. He's very highly decorated at this point. And we got 30% of our pod back. Not that it really matters, we're way, way up now. And how much reputation? He only got 0.9 reputation from that. That's really unsettling that nobody cares that he spent 30 days in orbit and risked his life. Well, one of the things I'm going to get right off the bat, so I'm going to get these guys here. Let's see, if I do this, I'll have enough for the nuclear engine. Which is really tempting. I also have enough for inflatable heat shield. Now that's interesting. I do want these parts as well. But I also want the Clampatron as well. That leaves us not enough for nuclear propulsion. But I believe we can take that. And it's real tempting to come down here and either get these probe parts or this guy. But I will leave that open for now, because we will eventually want to do an SSTO. Until then, this has been Thy Lord Root, and I will see you later.